Tom walked into the cozy little cafe, the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee immediately enveloping him. He ordered his usual black coffee and sat down at a small table near the window. As he took the first sip, he noticed that the barista had added too much milk to his drink. Tom's mind raced with indecision. He didn't want to come across as a difficult customer, but he also didn't want to drink a coffee that he wouldn't enjoy. He sat there, lost in thought, staring at the cup of coffee in front of him. Minutes turned into hours as Tom remained seated, struggling to make a decision. He watched as customers came and went, the aroma of coffee wafting around him. He wanted to leave, but he couldn't bring himself to make a move. Days passed, and Tom remained stuck in the cafe, unable to decide what to do. The barista had long since gone home, and the cafe was empty except for Tom and the sounds of jazz playing softly in the background. Weeks turned into months, and Tom remained in the cafe, his indecision consuming him. He stopped eating and drinking, surviving only on the water provided by the cafe. Eventually, his body began to weaken, and he could no longer move. Tom sat there, his eyes fixed on the cup of coffee in front of him, his mind still consumed by indecision. He remained in the cafe, trapped in his own mind, unable to make a decision or move on from his indecision. It was a tragic ending to a story that began with a simple craving for coffee. Tom's lifeless body remained seated in the cafe, the cup of coffee in front of him untouched. The cafe had long since closed down, but his body had been left behind, frozen in indecision. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. The cafe remained abandoned, but occasionally someone would wander in, only to be met with the eerie sight of Tom's motionless body. Most would quickly leave, feeling a sense of unease wash over them. One day, a young woman stumbled upon the cafe. She noticed Tom's body and felt a pang of sadness wash over her. She wanted to help, but at the same time, she didn't want to be a bother. She sat down at a nearby table, staring at Tom's body, trying to decide what to do. Hours passed, and the young woman remained seated, lost in her own indecision. She wanted to call for help but worried that it would be seen as intrusive. She contemplated leaving but couldn't bring herself to abandon Tom's lifeless body. Days turned into weeks, and the young woman remained in the cafe, trapped by the same indecision that had consumed Tom. Her body grew weak, and she could barely move. She sat there, staring at Tom's lifeless body, lost in thought. Eventually, someone stumbled upon the cafe and discovered the two lifeless bodies. The authorities were called, and the bodies were removed from the cafe, marking the end of a tragic story of indecision and inaction. It was a sobering reminder of the importance of taking action, of speaking up when it matters, and of not letting fear or indecision consume our lives. The cafe remained empty, a haunting reminder of a story that should have never been. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider liking the video and subscribe to be notified of freshly baked, frightfully generic stories.